Immigration is one of those divisive topics and an ongoing hot potato for many European governments, which regularly hits news headlines. Now, one of those news stories which has been the subject of recent controversy is the Manston Processing Centre. The former military base in Kent was designed to hold just 1,600 people, but had as many as 4,000 in October. Asylum seekers are meant to be held there for only short periods of time, whilst undergoing security and identity checks, before being moved into Home Office asylum accommodation system, which often are hotels due to lack of availability of suitable accommodation. Now, overcrowding, poor conditions, and the excessive detention periods of migrants being held there at holding centres such as Manston have dominated headlines over the past few weeks, with ministers under fire for the small boats crisis. Whichever side of the fence you sit on, listen to Yasmin's story, a young Algerian asylum seeker, to hear how she navigates life after being left alone as an unaccompanied minor at the age of 16. She has had to defer her university place for a year as she is educationally stranded due to insufficient funds and work restrictions. Hello, our guest this morning is Yasmin, and she's a 19-year-old care leaver, recently graduated from college. She's been in the UK for 3 years. She's an asylum seeker from Algeria, but was brought up in the UAE. She's a smart cookie. She speaks 3 languages, English, French, and Arabic. Yeah. So hello, Jasmine. How are you?
Hi, I'm alright. I'm doing okay.
So you are a Barking food bank user.
Yes.
How long have you been coming?
Actually, just recently, just this week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really know. Obviously, I knew about the like services they offer and stuff, but I didn't know. Like, obviously, I knew asylum seekers can ask for help, but I didn't know whether or not I could get it and if it's under public funds.
Right.
And so, the other day I was really struggling with money. I I usually get £60 a week, £61 like 5p to be exact.
Precise.
Yeah. But it's only different because of my borough that I came from. I came from Waltham Forest, and they pay for like people in care £60 a week, but for other ones like Barking and Dagenham, surprisingly, they pay 81 a week.
Wow.
Yeah, so it depends on your borough.
It differs. Yeah.
And when I used to live in my semi-independent, I was in care since 16. I used to get like every quarter clothing bursary, and they would help you out with things like help you cook, whatever. And so you wouldn't feel the struggle. But yeah, now that I live on my own, I sort of like, especially I trying to go out or socialize, I found that it was more difficult to maintain the living costs and groceries and stuff.
So when you first needed the food bank, what has left you without enough money for the essentials? Why was your income so low? So in other words, what were your circumstances that brought you to the food bank?
Well, really, I've had the same circumstances for about almost like 2 years. I've been an asylum seeker since November 2020. But and I've applied for, once you're an asylum seeker for a year, you can apply for a work permit. And usually everyone gets it in like 2 weeks, a month. But I applied November last year, and I still haven't gotten it or any response.
Or maybe because of the backlog of...
Yeah. But and it's also because they lost my file like a couple of times. So I didn't really, I've been borrowing from friends and people around me and stuff, and I just thought, this is enough. Like, I don't want to be a sort of parasite in the people around me.
There is no benefits at all that you can claim?
No, I have no right at all. Like, I called citizens' advice, and they were going to provide me with some, but because I'm an asylum seeker, I don't have any access to public funds or anything, which is
so they can't grant you a loan or anything like that?
Which is why I haven't been to university. I've actually gotten accepted to Greenwich on an unconditional offer for criminal psychology and criminology.
Wow.
Because I did like...
that's brilliant.
Yeah, I was really excited. I still am. I deferred the year, but I applied for a couple of scholarships and I didn't get them because they only had like 2 a year for asylum
it's
seekers.
very limited.
Yeah, so I didn't get it. So I sort of took a gap year, deferred the year. And I don't have any recourse to public funds. I don't have any right to work, not even like cash in hand or just babysitting for someone. If you do it or get caught.
So you're pretty much on your own. Yeah, basically.
And what's really crazy is that I had more rights as an underage girl because as an asylum seeker under 18, they can't just take you to the police station. But now that I'm an adult, they can detain me at any time for any reason, even no reason. If the police come up to me and they ask me to see ID and they see that I'm an asylum seeker, they could just take me to the police station
because you're no longer a minor. You become an adult,
so I'm no longer protected by anything. I really try to avoid any troubles like police, whatever. I'm just like just walking by the sidewalk. So you have basically no income because you're an asylum seeker. So that's why you turned to the food bank. And I didn't the thing is, I got paid the same amount, but when I was in college, my care leaving coach she's very nice, she would get me like grants, like 20 extra pounds a week every term. Because for like kids in care that are focused on their education and go to college, if I provide my attendance. And now, since no college, I sort of don't have that. So at the time, I got used to the 20 extra pounds a week. So I estimated my groceries, everything on that. And when it stopped,
you really have to budget.
When it stopped, I sort of resorted to the food bank.
So depending on how much you want to share in your own words, what are some of the difficult, impossible decisions that you have to or had to make?
Well, like on a daily basis, generally, since I stopped college, even at least before with college, I used to get like either bursary from college or like I said, the grant to travel, and I could use some of that for socializing. I could see my friends, but now generally every day I have to make the choice between, well, should I save the £20 I have for groceries and transport, or should I go out to see my friends since I haven't, socialized. I even, I have my own
It's hard, isn't it, on your own? Yeah.
And I tried it out, like I didn't have money and I was like, okay, let me try and hang out with someone, just invited them over. And it was incredibly embarrassing because I had nothing to offer them. And even though friends are there to be with you and not for your food or, entertainment, but still it was quite a, difficult moment because I'm very young.
Cake, whatever.
Exactly, just something. Especially in my culture, we're big on hospitality. So it's so shameful, just
you feel embarrassed, don't you?
Yes. And also like sometimes I would, I don't do clothes shopping. Like I only do it maybe like once a year for every season, like maybe once every 2 summers or every 2 winters, because £60. A lot of people say, well, save some. But I do try. I just don't have the privilege to, Every single penny goes into place. Like,
when you haven't got enough, there's nothing to save.
Like, I plan it ahead of time. I plan how much I'm going to put in to everything before I even get paid. So none of that is left. And even sometimes I would have to make the decision between, like, you're young, you like to have snacks or something. And I would literally, just pick between milk or like a snack like croissants or something, and I'd have to go with milk because that's necessary.
Between the essentials and a treat.
Every day is just essentials or you know, a treat, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult being a teenager.
Yes.
But I do manage. Manage.
Yeah. That's good because you're sensible. You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm 20 mentally now.
So how were you supported by the food bank, and what would happen if this support wasn't in place?
Honestly, I wouldn't have any food. Like, I think I would probably starve or, I don't know, resort to something else. I'm not saying like, I wouldn't say like crime or anything, but I would have to get deeper in depth or something to maintain, you know, just the living costs. And obviously the food bank has incredibly supported me. Like, they have Fresh Tuesdays and stuff where sometimes I do crave vegetables or fresh fruits or desserts, and yesterday I actually got to get a lot of it, or Tuesday, sorry. And so they really make me feel like I have a community that I can go to if I need help.
Great.
Yeah.
And will you continue using it?
Yeah, as long as I need it, I would be happy to.
Yeah, and you feel at ease and you feel welcome?
Yeah, of course. And because it's not embarrassing to need something and go get it, but because of my age and sort of going there for the first time, I was really hesitant. You know, I needed it, but I was like, you know, I'm so young. Like, why do I have to be in this situation already in my life? And but when I came in, like, you greeted me and another staff member, and I was just offered like tea or coffee, and I just felt like, you know, this is just a normal interaction.
Yes.
Like, it's not embarrassing.
Yes,
it's not. It doesn't feel demeaning in any way. So it was.
We're
really
all
good.
here to help.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What would you want people to have never been in your position to know?
To be grateful, count your blessings. You know, sometimes it's obviously I have friends that, you know, have completely different situations in lives, and they're always like, you know, I don't blame them. I don't take any resentment of it, but especially before they went to university, it was like a lot of pressure, like, why you don't want to see us, like, you don't have time for us, you don't. And it's so embarrassing for me to explain that, you know, it's not that I don't want to see you, I literally can't afford it, and I don't want to tell you because you're going to feel the need to pay for everything because you're my friend. And, you know, it's just to understand other people's situations, even if you're not in the same shoes. You don't have to be to empathize or sympathize with someone, and to just, you know that everyone around you has their own struggle in some way.
Okay. It's hard, isn't it? It's to understand what the other person's going through. So if you were a councillor or MP for one day, what would you change in this borough?
In the borough, I would have more activities for young people, especially those that are at an incredibly higher risk of being affiliated and driven into, you know, a sort of bad surroundings and bad life, because
mix up with gangs.
Exactly. And especially where I went to college in Tottenham. So I had there were many opportunities that presented themselves that were beneficial, but at the same time so risky and dangerous that, you know, I would try to sort of shield the young people as much as I can from the life of crime, because especially in my semi-independent, a lot of girls I lived with, even though they were getting paid good money, but because of the treatment and their situation, they didn't feel loved, so they would resort to prostitution and things like that. And it was like they didn't even know it was wrong, because they were just like, well, I'm just doing something I enjoy for money. But the thing is, there are such deeper connotations, because you're gonna suffer a lot in your adult life, like thinking about what you did. So I would try to find like occupations, things for them to do, like activities that don't require much money.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because I myself, I would love to join clubs and things like that, but I can't afford it. And so if I could change that for someone like me, I would do that, definitely. Or maybe like raise the costs of, you know, help or benefits that can go out to people. Because the other day I was waiting outside the food bank and I heard this woman talking about how she has 4 children but her benefits are only covering 2, and you know she has to come to the food bank every week, and it's so difficult. Like I saw her children and stuff, and it's really heartbreaking. So I'd say maybe like something to occupy the youth and more funding for benefits and stuff.
After school clubs or activities.
And maybe to do like cleaning campaigns and things like that.
That'd be great. Okay, is there any other things you'd like to add about your situation, about the cost of living crisis? How is it impacting on your daily life?
Honestly, everything I see has doubled in price.
Yes.
Like transport, everything. Like before, I used to put £10 on my oyster and I wouldn't think about it until like 4 days into the week. And now I put in £10 and I'm trying to come home. Like I leave at 9 a.m. and I come home at 5 and it's already gone red, you know? So everything is markedly more expensive and so challenging. I see people like... Before, obviously, you'd see people you'd see how like hungry or poor or sad they were, but now it's so much more like everyone is suffering. You can even see it on their faces, like everyone's just sad. And I'd say...
Do you think it impact on the mental health as well?
Yes, incredibly. You know, during lockdown, and also obviously since no one had income, literally the suicide hotline had raised by their calls, and young people depression by like 80%. And especially as someone that suffers from mental health, I think it's genuinely like such a tool on you, because if you don't have stability, then mentally you think, oh well, I have nothing. I don't know where I'm gonna be tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna eat. So it's...
But also with young people, not a lot of people think young people suffers from depression.
Because they're like, well, it doesn't matter, it could be minor to you, but the thing is you can't compare situations.
Right.
It depends on your gauge. It depends on what you have to compare to. If you're a younger person and your parents are fighting at home, you've never had that before, so to you that's like the end of the world, but to someone else they might have bigger problems. So I just think to give every issue its attention and not diminish other people's struggles. If I was an MP, I would heavily encourage the Home Office to just clear up the backlog and just contact me. Give me my work permit.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Yes, that is. They could do a lot in the Home Office. Okay. Thank you very much for contributing. Thank you for your time, Yasmin.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate your contribution. Thank you.